It's the 2K pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host.
We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. And before we get underway here, let's send it over to Hall of Fame.
Guys, you told me they're
Thank you, David. And we're watching two very experienced veteran teams, Chris. We should be in for some high-level basketball.
Yeah, and just watch this game tonight. You're going to see coaches really trust their players. Coaches who do most of their coaching in practice and then trust the IQ of their players. Won't be a lot of play calling, a lot of free-flowing. Guys kind of knowing where to be on defense, a lot of communication on defense. This should be a fun one.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court right now for the Spurs, Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard, the two stars at the forward spots. The timeless Parker and Manu are the 1 and the 2. And it's Gasol at the 5 spot. Outside, Walker. And a miss there on the triple. And here are the Spurs. Defeated by the Pelicans in their last game. They'll try to put that one behind them.
And that was a shocker. Hard to believe that they dropped the ball, so to speak, on that one, and probably a tough pill for them to swallow.
They were the clear favorite coming in. They seemed like a racehorse that was just waiting for the gate to open, but it just did not happen.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
And maybe not as highly touted as some other guards that went before him, but Malik Monk can be scary on the floor. He can get hot like no other, and once he's dialed in, the points just seem to flow.
And Greg, as you said, Monk has that ability to take over with his shooting.
I mean, Monk looks to get going with his scoring at all times, and he's just got that shooter's mentality where all shots are good shots. That can be a positive and a negative, but I prefer he have that aggressive mentality when it comes to scoring the basketball.
And Walker kicks to Batum. Leonard brings the double team. Walker with it. He's picked up by Parker. Shot's good by Walker. Walker's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Parker kicks to Gasol. Leonard dishes to Aldridge. Spurs working the ball around now. And Parker, here we go, lays it in without an inch of room around him.
Well, when Parker uses that burst of speed on the drive, he's nearly impossible to get in front of.
Screen by Howard. Monk, no one around him, and it's the Hornets another 3.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
A lot of times your defense is your offense is your defense. This is poor decision-making right here. Can't let him have that shot. Also might have been a lack of effort.
Parker against Walker. Shoots from 14, and Charlotte again with the bucket.
And Walker uses every inch of his 6'1" frame to nail the interior shots, really using his body well.
Ginobili the pass to Gasol. Over Howard. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. And here's Charlotte. Big stretch here going 10-2. The Spurs offense, one of the most efficient in the NBA. It's all predicated, Greg, on motion.
And it's ball movement and player movement. They kind of want to warp the defense and force mistakes, and that's when they strike.
You got to be aware of Howard at all times, especially on defense, where he makes his living blocking shots.
Some changes for Charlotte. Cody Zeller's checked in for Howard. Frank Kaminsky comes in for Marvin Williams. And it's Kid Gilchrist in for Monk. Laverne, he's checked in for San Antonio. Murray comes in for Parker, and he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
What a play there, the hoop plus the harm.
Carter Williams, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. San Antonio also making some changes. Anderson, he's checked in for Aldridge. Davis Bertans comes in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili. And stolen by Murray. Plays it in off the breakaway. And that replay presented by Under Armour, showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. 1:31 left in the first quarter. Pick by Zeller. Zeller setting the pick for Walker. Got a piece of it, and they get it back. Green with the ball. Now defended by Carter Williams. Green kicks to Anderson. And stolen by Zeller. That's a two-pointer from Walker. Walker missing again.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Anderson dishes to Green. He feeds it to Murray. Pass to Laverne. That misses. Had a chance to tie it there.
Some tough D in the paint. Getting between him and the bucket and stopping the easy.
And the foul called on Danny Green. That's his first foul. Spurs making a switch here. Mills is checked in. Knocked loose. Laverne with the ball. He's against Zeller. Anderson outside. Pass to Bertens. Dishes to Laverne. He nails it, and we're tied up. Laverne's got his first points in this one.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
Pick by Zeller. For Charlotte, they have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this one. First one falls for.
The former Rookie of the Year continues to improve. Carter Williams, he's a triple-double threat thanks to his size and his passing skill.
Deflects the pass. It's stolen by Kaminsky. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. It's Charlotte up 2. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to
basketball. This is my passion, on court.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
That's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. And let's quickly break down the game, guys. We've been watching from the Hornets.
They've gotten that perimeter game going in that first, and for me, that was the difference.
Well, and not only in terms of building the lead, but now the defense has to extend itself. That leads to other opportunities.
On the court for San Antonio here in the second. Mills teams up with Green in the backcourt. Anderson is out there with Laverne. And it's Gay in at the small forward.
And great effort on the boards, and what a mean
that
was, Kev. I mean, you just will not see him ever quit on a play.
That guy is a handful. You've got to have a body on him, Clark, at all times.
And how relentless is this guy if you're the defense? He's the first one you're looking to block out there.
And last season, Greg, one big issue for the Hornets was their bench.
And Charlotte tried their best to address that issue this past offseason. It just goes to show that you need to have a complete roster to compete. A lot of games were given away by the Hornets last year by losing ground when the starters left the court.
Bounces high off the rim and drops. Kid Gilchrist has got his first 2 points of the night.
You have to love how Kid Gilchrist isn't afraid of working his way down inside, using his tremendous size to his advantage.
And it goes down 2 points.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Kaminsky in the corner from past the arc. They get it again. Another shot, and the layup is up and in.
He's so intelligent around the rim. Kaminsky found a way to own that possession.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
Well, Kaminsky, one of the rare four-year players taken in the lottery. I mean, he's had some struggles finding his offense in NBA consistency. He needs to get a little bit stronger and a little bit more consistent in the shot.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hornets. Howard's checked in for Zeller. Williams comes in for Kaminsky. Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Kid Gilchrist. And Monk's subbed in for Walker. Here's Gasol, and he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And with Frank Kaminsky out of Wisconsin, you knew his niche in the NBA would be as a stretch big man. Hard to be an impact player when you're struggling from outside, though.
Yeah, but Kaminsky is working on his defense. It's been a little tough for him to guard players inside. Players are still having his way with him, but he's shown that he's trying to get a lot better at protecting the rim.
Batum passes to Monk. Screen by Howard. The shot by Monk is no good.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
Parker kicks to Aldridge. And Aldridge slams it in.
Oh, an aggressive move and fantastic finish.
Trying to send a message with that slam, I think. Carter Williams against Parker. Carter Williams dishes to Monk. Howard kicks to Monk. Poked away. Ginobili with the steal. Leonard on the wing. Passes it to Aldridge. It's stolen by Carter Williams. Now here's Monk, the fast break chance. Here's Howard, and it's Howard finishing it off.
You allow Howard to get in close, he's going to punch that ticket.
Parker passes to Ginobili, kicks to Gasol. Leonard dishes to Aldridge. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Aldridge has got the lead up to 4 now for the Spurs. Well, Chris, NBA players will go around to every arena at least once in a season. Does each arena have its own feel and look? And how does that impact players when they play on the floor? A depth perception from the basket to the last row. They've told me that every building feels different. Is that true?
Yeah, every building does feel different, but because every player is different, you know, it just depends on which guy, which arena. You know, I used to love Portland because it was dark in Portland and it felt warm in there. I don't know why. I mean, I can't really even explain that well, but yeah. I used to love playing in Portland. And I know some guys that have an arena that is bright, or they just love getting there, or maybe they just love that city. So a lot of times, I'll tell you what arena I really love, and it was the first time I went to Boston Garden, because I just sat and I stretched on the floor probably for the longest of any game, because I sat there and I touched the parquet floor and I got to look up at all the banners, and I, you know, kind of reading the banners there and who played there and what year they won, and tried to remember that team. And so in some arenas it's just special because who's performed there, who's been there before you, and so every arena has a different feel.
That's a great answer. Well, one reason why Nick Batum is so valuable on the basketball floor is his ability to guard multiple positions. You hear that a lot with front court players, but Chris, he gives you that flexibility as a guard.
And his length is a big part of why he's able to do that. You always want a rangy guy you can put up on a shooter for the other team. Very often, Batum plays that role because of his ability to bother shots and check a multitude of players.
Walker's checked in for Charlotte.
Yeah, he earned that one. I mean, taking the hit and still able to get that one to go down.
And Kawhi Leonard, the only player other than Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon to be an all-star starter. Greg win the Defensive Player of the Year and win a Finals MVP award.
And Kevin, I think it's fair to say that's some lofty company to be in. You know, you're worried with the retirement of Tim Duncan. Would the Spurs go through a lull? And they found another two-way superstar to kind of build their team around, much in the same in terms of mannerisms as a Tim Duncan.
Williams, that falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Williams has got his first 2 points.
Well, you got to get up on Williams. You can't give too much space to shoot from the mid-range.
Murray kicks to Aldridge. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Tough loss coming against Cleveland in their last game played.
And you know what? A shame that either team had to lose that game, because you had to be proud of the way they battled in it.
Gut-wrenching. You put that much energy into a game, that much passion into a game, catch up, sending it to OT. You want to come away with the win.
And that one goes on a bounce. Last touch by Walker.
Well, the defense had nothing to do with that turnover. They're just fortunate. That's just plain sloppy passing.
Here's Bertanis, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Oh, he just punches that one down with a fury.
And he rubs it in a little deeper with the hanging finish. And that does it for the first half of play. Spurs lead by 8. And a chance now to set.
Kevin,
thank you, David, and we'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime
Hello
Show.
again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. A pretty close game for the Spurs throughout the first quarter. Some good moments from both teams, but as the first period wrapped up, they trailed by 2. Defensively and offensively, they improved quite a bit in the second quarter, and they've got a nice 8-point halftime lead to show for it. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how? And that will wrap up our.
The scene at night here in Uptown Charlotte, where we welcome you back to the. Spurs leading by 8. Walker and Monk are the guard tandem. Inside, Williams at the 4, Howard in the middle. And it's Batum in at the small forward position. And that's the group for Steve Clifford as we begin the second half. Aldridge, the pass to Gasol. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. Gasol's got the first points of the second half here for San Antonio.
But when you watch the Hornets play, they are very good at getting to the free throw line. They have a lot of players who can attack and draw contact. They get a lot of free points on offense that way.
Howard dishes to Walker. Just 5 on the clock. Over Parker. That one's good. The San Antonio lead is cut down to just 8 points on the bucket from Walker.
Well, the shooter of Walker's caliber, I mean, you can't allow him to shoot with his feet set.
Chris, as you said, the Hornets do a good job of forcing the issue and getting to the line. Great rate of free throws per possession.
But it's always important to be able to get free throws as an offense. It kills any momentum the opposition might be building. Easy, reliable way to put up points on a nightly basis.
Outside Williams. Outside Batum. And the call will be against Tony Parker. That is his first foul of the game. And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in. Ginobili knocks it loose. Kicks it out to Leonard. Outside Aldridge. Spurs passing it around. Here's Gasol. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. Ginobili's got 4 assists in the game.
And the long arms that Gasol has is what allows him to drop dunks on defenders. What a powerful force close to the rim.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets. Victory eluded them last time in San Antonio when they took on the Spurs.
It wasn't even close in their last matchup, and their offense just wasn't ready to compete at that level.
Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for San Antonio. Here's Williams. Anderson with the block. And he's able to get it back. Batum wide open. He fired. Charlotte again missing. Gasol kicks to Anderson. And it's sent back by Howard. Feeds it to Monk. And then Monk with the dunk.
Well, when Batum, Kevin, spots a wide open teammate, he zips the rock to him quickly. Just exceptional vision.
And as great as Nicholas Batum is, the one issue he's dealt with, Greg, his entire career is staying consistent during games.
And with his skill set, it is hard for Batum to be completely absent. He can play, though, too passively at times when you know what he's capable of. And he's at his best when he is active and aggressive.
Zeller, he's checked in for Charlotte. Kid Gilchrist comes in for Nicholas Batum. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Leonard with the steal. And now the fast break, Ginobili with the ball. Here's Anderson, and count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Now look at that. That's just a great all-around play. Getting into position for the offensive rebound, finishing strong on a putback.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. Kaminsky, he's checked in for Charlotte. We always talk about how different eras of the NBA had different feels and how the game was called and how the game was played. Chris, what is the biggest change you have seen to the game since your era?
2 changes. One, you can't hand check, and that's really physical. That used to wear you down, take you out the game, and that stopped the freedom of movement. And that, along with playing the zone, where you can't just guard a guy and have to stay in your area. Those are 2 big changes because it really helped the offense. And so we want to see a lot of scoring, but today it's not easier to score because these guys have wonderful skill sets, but the game makes it easier to score because of the rules, because you can get to the line so many times. Because before a hand check, you couldn't get to the free throw line if a guy pushed you out of bounds almost because the game is expected to be physical.
Right.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
San Antonio calls timeout. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
And stolen by Gay.
And that's turned over in about the most frustrating way possible.
Oh, yeah. It's one thing if the defender makes a great play, okay? But to lose control of it and get called for the over and back, that's tough to swallow.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. Puts it up from 12. Here's Kid Gilchrist. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play. Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Yeah, he has that capacity. He knows exactly where to position himself to protect the rim. Now, that was a sensational feed. He hit him right on the move.
There's the pass to Mills. Here's Laverne. No good. And Charlotte will go the other way with it.
And 2 for 1. That's what they'd like to get right now.
Yeah, this could come down to the correct play call. But let's see what they do right here.
Kaminsky misses. San Antonio leading by 7. Laverne down low. Kaminsky's there. Shot's good by Laverne.
And look, you could never have enough offense in the low post.
There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. And it's Walker penetrating. Shoots over Mills. And that one comes up a bit short. Murray, the pass to Bertens. Over Zeller. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. The Spurs have shot 6 of 7 at the line.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
First free throw is good. Both teams will make substitutions. So he gets them both. Just 4 seconds left in the third quarter. Walker. Off target with that shot. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Spurs out in front. They're up by 11. We'll be back shortly live from Spectrum Center. And we're getting... So it's the Hornets now. They trail by 11. On the floor for San Antonio starting the fourth quarter. Parker and Green are the guard set. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's Gay in at the 3 slot. There's the dish to Aldridge. Parker kicks to Green. Here's Gasol. Plays it up and banks it in. Gasol's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Spurs. The Hornets shooting at 44%, pretty reasonable. Here's Walker. No good off the front iron.
Not pretty. You just got to shake off a miss like that.
Aldridge kicks to Gasol. Spurs working the ball around now. Aldridge dishes to Gay, and that one is good. And the Spurs lead by 15.
And defensively, guys, they've been unable to shut down the middle.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Poked loose and stolen by Gay. Parker kicks to Aldridge. Gay passes to Gasol. The putback, great positioning on the putback.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
And the Hornets call time here. Chris, I know that when you go through a season, there are certain matchups that you love and certain ones that you don't. When you were playing, which other power forwards did you just dread, just did not like going up against?
Well, Kevin, I would kind of change that and say dread to me was love, meaning that I dreaded and I loved to go up against Tim Duncan because you knew you had to be prepared that night. I loved and I dreaded going up against KG. You know, I played in the era where in 1 week I could have played against Shaq, Rasheed Wallace, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon. This is all on the West Coast. So for me, you know, I dreaded the Western Conference, but what's so good about it is that you just have to be prepared, and you can't dread the NBA. It's like you grew up wanting to play against the best players in life, and so I really loved the fact that I had to be my best every night, or you're going to get embarrassed in the league. So it was every power forward.
Never an off night, was there, Chris?
Never an off night, and you know, so I can't say I dreaded Karl Malone over Barkley or Olajuwon over David Robinson or Tim Duncan over KG. It's just like, hey man, you got to put your big boy pants on, get ready, and go to work, baby. Put your hard hat on.
Outside, Walker with some arc. Rebounded by the Spurs.
Look, it hasn't happened yet, but he's got time to find his rhythm, and if he does, they can turn this thing around quick.
Hornets trail by 20. Batum with the ball. Picked up by Ginobili. Batum dishes to Walker. Again, the miss by Walker.
Wow, what a rough second half for him shooting the basketball. Maybe you adopt a pass-first mentality at this point.
A nice shot by Gasol. Oh, wow, guys, doesn't look good. We've got an injury here.
Yeah, it looks like he's in real pain. Definitely a concern right now.
Oh, that's a tough blow for him. Really the whole team, though. I mean, puts a lot of pressure on the next man up.
And the Hornets making a change here. Monk's checked in. We're in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. And Ginobili with a clear path to the rack. Drops in the breakaway layup.
And how about the fast hands and then getting right out in transition?
I mean, look, I was going to say you're attacking on both ends, quickly going from defense to offense.
And Batum kicks to Kid Gilchrist. Howard with a screen on Leonard. Here's Kid Gilchrist. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. They get Paul Gasol.
MKG at his best, putting his head down and attacking the rim, the finish or the free throw.
Some changes for Charlotte. Frank Kaminsky, he's checked in for Howard. And it's Carter Williams in for Nicholas Batum.
Every point is critical now. You can't afford to let these opportunities pass you by.
As you look at the league right now, how different would you say it is from when you played? And if there are a lot of differences, do you like the changes?
The NBA is much different from when I played. When I played, if you shot a jumper from the 15-foot range free throw line, they criticize you as a big fella. Now you have to be able to space the floor. If you were a big fella and led the break back then, they criticize you. Now you have a guy like Durant who is 6'11". So the game has changed from rules. It was so much more physical at the time. It was a slower pace. But, you know, that was then. I love the way that the game is now. I love that players have more freedom. I love that the pace is faster. You don't have to look back at your coach to have a play called every time. The trust is put in these players' skill sets. And so I love it, man. Anytime you can see Harden go to work, Durant go to work, Curry go to work, Westbrook go to work, LeBron go to work, Irving go to work, and just watch them play in an open offense, man, it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, I like the changes, and it was fun when I played as well.
Zeller. It's good on the putback.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for San Antonio.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And for the year now, they'll be tallying their 16th win.
A 2-game season series. They win them both and complete the sweep.
And we watched them all night long. No one could really stop them. Just another excellent game it was for Aldridge.
Wow, he owned this game. He never stopped working. He did it all for them, and you can't help but admire that kind of effort.
Yeah, with this lead, that's probably going to do it. Fans heading for the exit.
Wow, this is just a huge road win. These guys banded together. Just an awesome performance.
Bacon, he's checked in for Williams. There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And that's a foul called on Davis Bertans. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. Here's Mills, and that one drops.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
Well, they've gotten serious, stringing together some game-winning buckets.
Here's Bacon. Rebound, San Antonio. And here is Murray over Monk. Off the mark from 16 feet out. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they...
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that about wraps it up for Chris.
You think them know me? I'm rockin' gold, oh yeah, you know. Fresher to hat go. I hear you hating on the low. Player, you should let it go. I'm not your regular degular. Don't call my cellular. I do what I wanna do. Move how I wanna move. All the I'ma do. Don't worry about me, boo. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Boy, you was way out of pocket. If you hating, you should stop it. Pull up, I know I'm the top.